was massive, because no one in this room actually thinks Arsenal are better than Man City, but you're thinking, could they win the league this season because maybe City have got games, or they were getting used to Haaland at the start, or they're not playing the normal football that they play. Something wasn't quite right, as the City fans said throughout the season. We're not the same. And you think, could Arsenal nick the title this season? And then you think of next season, you think of the other big teams coming back as well, who can't have as poor a season. And Arsenal can still improve, and I think they will improve next season. But I still don't think they're going to be, whatever it was, 7-8 points clear in March.
Welcome back to the Football Terrace. First of all, hit the like and the share button. I'd love your comments below. And remember, we're giving away 2 FA Cup tickets and £250 spending money. All you have to do is enter our raffle, scan the QR code on the screen, or click on the link in the description to make sure you're entered, ready for the draw at the end of May. Arsenal's analysis, listen, banter them, laugh at them for throwing away the lead. I get all of that. But Arsenal are probably going to improve, but I don't see them being in this position again in a year's time. I understand that I'm not dense. I understand the logic, as in I know where they're coming from. But are we not beyond this type of analysis now? Liverpool are in the title race every year. They have a fall off. Nobody predicted Chelsea being 12. Nobody predicted Man United and Newcastle being in the top 4. Nobody predicted Arsenal being at the top for 93% of the season. To suggest that Arsenal are simply going to fall off, or they won't be in the title race next year, or they can't get ahead of City again early in the season next year, and Arsenal's chances of winning a league title are dusted for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. It's a madness. That same logic means we can't predict any team doing well. Or if any team fouls in the final of a big comp or just misses out to City, that's it. That's you done for another decade now. It don't sit right with me personally. It really doesn't.
I mean, that was an unbelievable position to be in. And as I said, they can be better next season, but they won't be in that position next season.
They'll be better next year. By the way, City are on par with their points average and points total. They're doing what they normally do. They're doing what they normally do. Arsenal were 8 points ahead of them. If Arsenal get better, it just doesn't make sense, in my opinion, that they can't be in a title race or be ahead of City by January or February or March next year.
How dare you!
That's the City. All these Arsenal fans are talking about it's like a 1 in a million shot to win the Premier League. This is a massive football institution, apparently the biggest club in London for a lot of people, not for me, because of Chelsea winning European silverware.
I love Boovy. This man is a professional troll.
Arsenal. But how can you be, leading against Southampton, leading against West Ham? Seriously, because
Robbie putting his hands up there,
There's a point in the season where you should have been able to go to the Etihad and still lost the game and still win the Premier League title race.
No,
that is bottling it.
Listen, well,
I want to say this part of the overlap, they got on to talk about what is and isn't bottling. And this, I do feel like 2023 has been the season of semantics and debating the definition of words. It really, really has.
Well, then you bottled it last season, as Jamie just said. When you
we won the league last season.
As a matter of fact, you bottled the Champions League the last. You bottled the Champions League. Hold on. You bottled the Champions League the last few seasons. So you the word bottling it.
The word bottling it though is this, right? If you're beaten by the occasion, if you succumb to the pressure, I think you've bottled it. You've either bottled it or you've been outclassed. The problem is with fan bases now, and we're all the same. We don't like to say we were outclassed, and we don't like to say we bottled it. But you only lose for one of those two reasons, really. You either collapse and throw it away, or you're beaten by a better team. They're the only two reasons, stereotypically, that you lose something. But football, this is the problem with football fans now. We're too scared to admit it. We're too scared to say they were better than us. We're also too scared to say we threw it away. I might be missing something here. Viewers, the Terrace community, help me. What else is there?
I think that's a bit harsh.
Showcase not much better, by the way.
Let me just say, right? Like you just said we bottled it, right? But, yeah, I mean, against Sevilla, you're 2-0 up as well.
Yeah, okay. It's you just said me to everyone bottles everything.
I just say you bottled it.
Yes, we did. No one was talking.
Well, Adam McCullough just said it there. We did bottle it against Sevilla. This is also the thing as well. Whataboutery doesn't help it. If the debate is, have Arsenal bottled it or not, the defence isn't, well, you bottled it against Sevilla and you bottle it in the Champions League. Man United did bottle it against Sevilla. Every year under Pep in the Champions League, pretty much, City have bottled it or thrown away great opportunities. But that doesn't deter away from the debate. It's not an argument to say, well, you've done it, so you can't call us out. Because this isn't tit for tat. This is debating what went wrong with Arsenal.
About the issue with the word bottling it when Spurs did it in 2015.
Because you invented the word.
Yeah? You got bodied from start to finish, blood. Yeah?
I've got to say, that's a great line there from Robbie. Like, Spurs did invent it, but it is true. We're all... And I don't know, I'm not bored of it. I love watching the content. But let's stop the whataboutery. You did this and you did that. Let's talk about the subject in hand. What went wrong with Arsenal? And I think looking at these first two clips, it's so, for me, I kind of view it from the sense of, I think writing Arsenal off next year because they didn't win the league this year. By the way, they haven't lost it 100% yet, but they haven't won it this year, is as stupid, really, as not getting into detailed debates about what's gone wrong for a particular team in a circumstance. Let's have the conversations because, in my opinion, fans want it.
We really spoke about it, and I was only 10, so I just barely remember it, but we never really spoke about it because we won the league on the last day of the season. So we never had that, the league's in the bag, we got a cup final to look for. So that's one thing that could count on City is the constant talk about a treble.
This is the thing. Makoto's right here, but there was no social media back in 1999 either. So there wasn't this, the TV channels would talk. There wasn't even, I don't even have 24-hour news on Sky was invented by then. It was barely any debate shows about football, probably Sunday Supplement, and that was about it. So there wasn't the ability to build up the hype around any team in the way there is in 2023. That's a fact.
You're playing Real Madrid, you're playing Man United, history comes into it. I think that could hopefully topple them.
How many times have you seen it when it's like, you know, even Liverpool fans are quadruples odd, and then the next week suddenly...
This is the closer. This is real now. Yeah. Even for me, in the past when I've heard like the Liverpool winning the quadruple, I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. And I think
whoa. Do you want me to get that text message you sent me?
No, what I'm saying is Liverpool had lots of hurdles that they had to get over, and there was always a good chance that they wouldn't do it, even though there was a chance they could, but there's a good chance they would. With this now, this is real, this. City looked absolutely fired up like mad. That game against Bayern Munich at the Etihad, I thought was an unbelievable match to watch.
Listen, I'm not calling out Gary here. I've not really seen much from him on this, but this is an arrogant moment from me. 2 months ago, I was talking about this, and I was getting laughed at. Nah, no treble. Why are you worried? Let's just pray for Arsenal's downfall. Now I see Man United fans everywhere shaking in their boots at the prospect of City doing a treble. I'm sitting there thinking, you should have listened. You should have listened, because not that our support would have changed things, but how silly you now look as a Man United. And I think that's what it is for people. Oh, I was tweeting, laughing at Arsenal. But that laughter is probably what's going to maybe lead to some of our history being toppled. Because the media are definitely going to say that City's treble is better. Most of the viewers on the Terrace are going to say that their treble is better. It's as simple as that. Look, we're going to talk a little bit about Pochettino now. Make sure you hit the like and the share button, people. Let's go.
Nice.
Particularly want somebody who personifies Tottenham at Chelsea. He is the...
I'm still trying not to laugh properly because I've got to hold in my laughter because this chest infection is still not fully gone. I absolutely love Rory. This man I honestly think he'd prefer Frank Lampard to stay over Poch coming in.
Embodiment of Tottenham Hotspur. And I don't really like the idea.
He's a great coach.
He's great, sounds generous to me. He's a very good manager, I agree. He's good. I don't think he's in the elite rung. I think the fact that his 2 crown and glory moments in this league his two best moments with an English club was crying in the away dressing room at Stamford Bridge in 2016 and losing the most one-sided Champions League final I've ever seen.
It's harsh, though, isn't it? That's
incredibly
harsh, given what he was able.
It's kind of true, though.
To achieve with that young Tottenham squad with very little. I mean, Flav, you can tell us from.
I mean, bearing in mind
he's a good
Spurs didn't
coach.
spend much of that and getting Spurs to the Champions League
as well. The
final.
word achieve, you're playing hard and fast with the word. The
Well, I think
definition of the word achieve.
Yeah, look, Rory's right. Tottenham get treated like a small club. Tottenham are one of the big. I think they're in the top 5 spenders in Premier League history. I know this is before Poch's time, but I was reading these stats the other day. Spurs only spent £50 million less from the start of the Premier League until when Fergie retired and won nothing. A league, and at that point, a League Cup, 2 League Cups in that time. People talk about Spurs like they're a newly promoted Brentford team who are punching above their weight, doing what Brighton are doing, where they've come up through the ranks over years and now they're starting to really fight, you know, at the top end of towards the top end of the table. This is Tottenham Hotspur, one of the biggest spenders in Europe. With, by the way, during Poch's time, they had squads valued in the almost at £1 billion. Forget what they paid. And this is what fans sometimes do. We always go by expectations based on what a club spends and not by the valuation of the squad. Example would be Andy Robertson at Liverpool. Yes, they bought him for 8 million, but at his peak, he was a 70-80 million pound player. Yes, they signed Dele Alli cheaply. Yes, Harry Kane is from the academy. But when you look at the valuation when they're at their best, you're talking hundreds of millions of pounds worth of talent combined, right? So Spurs achieved nothing with Mauricio Pochettino. They achieved nothing. They're a massive club with a bigger income, by the way, than Arsenal, a squad worth hundreds of millions of pounds under him. They did absolutely nothing. No, just absolutely nothing. It's crazy to me how they get so much love for winning diddly squat.
Let's go! Come on! At Man United a year ago, I wanted Ten Hag. When I heard he was going back to Spurs, I thought it was a mistake. And I was very surprised that Chelsea were going for him because I quite liked the appointment of Potter. Admittedly, I wouldn't have done it at United. So Chelsea was the experiment that I could watch and see how it went. But I felt that with Potter, it split the fan base. And that's probably why he's out of a job, because there was no patience. I feel that Pochettino will go the same way. If he doesn't instantly hit success, I don't think he'll get the patience. And I think Bowley, I think he's erratic. I mean, he's an opposite of the Glazers, really. The Glazers are just a toxic poison of Manchester United, whereas Todd Bowley's almost the opposite. He's got all the money and no idea. And he's making bad decision after bad decision in the transfer window and with managers.
Interesting there from Goldbridge. And I think a lot of Chelsea fans would agree with him, because if Poch doesn't hit the ground running, if Poch doesn't start winning and the football looks pretty nice and beautiful and attractive from the start, there is a generation of Chelsea fan that only know winning. There's a generation of Chelsea fan, and I mean this with respect, have grown up in the world where instant gratification has been so simplistic to achieve. You want a song, you can download it in. When I was a kid, if I wanted a song, I pretty much had to wait till Saturday, jump on the 158 bus from Leighton, take me to Walthamstow, walk down Walthamstow Market, go into Woolworths, go to the CD section or cassette section, buy it, get back on the bus, go home. It would take a week to get one song. Now you want a song, YouTube, where you can download it instantly. The world of instant gratification is here, and although that's an example away from football, it's how the minds of generations of fans now think. But Chelsea got it right so regularly with bring a new manager, buy a new player, straight back into a title race, straight back into competing. There has to be a mind shift change at Chelsea, I think. Plus, the board have got to get this right. And whether you think Poch is the right guy or not, this has to work. Because if this appointment goes wrong, they sell a number of players and bring a few more in, and that goes wrong, it could take a good number of years for Chelsea to undo that mess. It's a massive time for them. Do you agree with what Mr. Goldbridge had to say there? Viewers, I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on this video today. Leave us your comments below. Remember, we are giving away in our raffle 2 FA Cup final tickets and £250 spending money. Please go and enter now. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.